This was Michele Roberts, who's head of the NBA Players Association, on HBO's Real Sports, talking about the possibility of the NBA returning this year.
I'll give you a 6. It was probably an 8 last week. I've gotten some recent concerns expressed by players now that children have been infected, so heightened concerns have come into the conversation. So I'd say a 6.
Yeah, it's one of the most bizarre answers I've ever heard from somebody who's in a leadership perspective. The idea that she would be at an 8 last week, and now because there are new concerns over somebody's family, again, this is out of 10, the idea would take it down several notches to a 6, really feels like she's being overreactive. And, oh yeah, by the way, she doesn't need to necessarily support what she's saying with her actual actions, but it's this idea of what image do you want to put off? How do you want to be perceived? Hey, look, here's the reality to it. They're going to play. You might not like it. You got players that might not like it. You got owners that might not like it. You got referees that might not like it. You might not like it as a consumer. Not everybody is going to like it. That's the way in which it works. But they are going to play. It is going to happen. It's going to happen. And so it's not I'm not saying you got to get on board with something you don't like, but so much of this is about the messaging. I don't know. I'm like at a 6 now. A 6? You got facilities opened up. You got plans being made. Because you may be on the right side of history, but no one's going to look back at that. Hey, look, I'm at a 9 in terms of desire to have these guys, or a 10 in terms of wanting them to be on the floor. We just want to make sure everybody's safe, everything's right, everybody's taken care of. There's some details that have to work out. But in terms of getting back on the floor, like, man, we want to bring a little mental health relief to so many of our basketball fans, not only nationwide, but worldwide. That's the message from the Players Association. Instead, you're being, frankly, a nuisance. You just have all the star players, or most of the star players, less James Harden, get on a call and say, hey, we got to get back and play some basketball. Now you got the head of the NBAPA like, well, I was at 8, but now I'm at a 6 because a couple kids got sick. And look, I'm not trying to be heartless. I'm not denying the level of damage that has been done and the lives that have been lost. But like, look, there's just a reality to them. You got to get back to work. You got to get back to work. Unless your stance is, hey, I am not letting my players play unless there's a vaccine. If you do that, then you have to say, well, we probably aren't going to play in the fall and winter of 2020 either. But I don't, look, I believe that there are, as we continue to get pushback on some plans. This from Kevin O'Connor of The Ringer. The 16 current playoff teams would qualify for the group stage, plus 4 teams with the next best records. That'd be Trailblazers, Pelicans, Kings, Spurs. The remaining 10 teams would be done for the season. The survey sent to each general manager noted that the tiers would first be created by using the regular season standings to ensure competitive balance between the two groups. For example, 20 teams could be allocated into 5 tiers, right? You got Bucks, Lakers, Raptors, Clippers, on tier 1, tier 2, Celtics, Nuggets, Jazz, Heat, tier 3, Thunder, Rockets, Pacers, Sixers, tier 4, Mavericks, Grizzlies, Nets, Magic, tier 5, Blazers, Pelicans, Kings, Spurs. Groups could be randomly drawn, 1 team from each tier in each group. This is what I've been saying for 2 months now. Pool play and then pool play into a tournament. Right? Pool play and pool play into a tournament. And once they get into the tournament, if they want to go 7 games, they want to give buys, you got to get some real games in. You can't just have exhibition games into playoffs. That wouldn't make sense. And they're getting close to dotting the I's and crossing the T's and getting this thing done, except for you got the head of the NBAPA saying, and I don't know how dated the interview actually was. This is one of the problems with Real Sports is it's not like they're live interviews, but it could have been done the day before. But you have her saying, I'm at like a 6. A 6? What rock are you living under? I understand. Listen, if you're in New York, Your perspective is different than in Florida, in Texas. If you're in California, your perspective is different. I'm not like I live in a part of Southern California where you have people that have protested closing of the beach going back a couple weeks ago. And I thought that was one of the dumber things ever done, not because it's not your right to protest, but twofold. One, when people protested, they didn't maintain social distancing, right? You're trying to show the government, hey, we're mature enough. If you just open the beaches, we'll maintain social distancing. All right, we'll do it in your protest. Secondly, why are you protesting the beach? Protest something that really matters. Businesses, small and large. And then, of course, you're going to have to figure out as businesses come back online, what do you do with all these kids that don't have summer camp? And right now, even if you're still in school, are not actually in school. Like there's a litany of problems to work through. But opening the beaches doesn't really help much. Doesn't really help much. But look, I hate to break it to you. The world is opening up. The world is learning. And we were never considering being shut down for the summer. It was never really a consideration. It was how long till we had to flatten the curve. Did we open up too quickly? Time will tell. But Michele Roberts is supposed to be the most educated person on this, providing the most. She's supposed to be the one providing guidance to players, not overreacting to players, giving them her opinion. That ain't how it works. That's not leadership. But now, look, I think the reason that so much of the NBA we don't understand is there's parts of these TV deals, parts of the revenue deals. Like, do I really want to send the Blazers, get the Blazers or the Kings? Do I want to send the Kings, have them open up the facility, have them work out, send them down to Orlando, have them go through training camp and get in shape and get ready and play a couple exhibition games, then play 5 games, only then to fly home to Sacramento? Like, right? If you're the owner of the Kings, you're like, why would I do that? I'm just losing money. And the answer has to be, and they got to provide inventory for TV and radio deals so that they don't completely lose every amount of revenue for this season and have to write checks. Like, that's just not something that is a sustainable model. Can't stay closed down forever. Now, does that mean you want to include everybody? No, there's a limit to it. And you're going to have to find a way to navigate. You have to navigate these TV deals because, like the Warriors with their home games on their NBC affiliate. What do you do there? Who's going to cut that check? The Warriors don't want to play. The league's going to acquiesce and not have them play, but they're still several games short of fulfilling their need for their local regional sports network, right? Like this actually happens. This is part of the discussion. So there's lots of things that we don't truly understand. And maybe Michele Roberts wants to, but this is the same with the MLBPA. The only message you should be getting from the Players Association is, we want to play. Our guys cannot wait to play. We need to be as safe as possible, and we need to not set ourselves back so bad financially that it's used against us in our next CBA. But the NBA CBA is locked in. The new deal is done, signed, delivered. This is simply about a lack of true quality leadership and vision to get this thing done. That train is leaving the station. Okay, it has been at the station for the last 2 months. It is leaving the station. Now, you can decide where you want to sit on it, but running to catch that train and being in the caboose, fine. But that's what's going to end up happening if you don't get on board. I feel like we're hearing this narrative from some people that in an effort to negotiate in public, you end up sounding like the most obtuse person on earth. Well, we're at about a 6. Well, players are already back at the facilities working out. The best players have already had a call saying they want to come back and play. The league's trying to figure out exactly how they want to format it, and you're at like a 6? Well, people are having pool parties in the Ozarks, which look like Vegas. But we got a 6 on returning in the NBA season. Kidding? That the message you want to send? Not You are cautiously pessimistic instead of cautiously optimistic. That's how you need to. We want to be as smart as possible, as safe as possible, and we want to play basketball if it's possible. I'm at like a 9 or a 10. All we got to do is figure out smart logistics. You do that, and no one will ever do what I'm doing, which is say, boy, you really sound like a dope. And she's obviously a bright woman. She wouldn't have been as accomplished as she is if she's not very bright. But it's, to me, the nature of being overreactive. One or two players calling you and saying, hey, I don't get this. Like, you just need to be sound, provide balance, be motherly, fatherly, grandmotherly, whatever, and just say, look, I get it. Give me your list of concerns. We will figure it out together. You are a basketball player. Your house, your cars, your life is paid for by basketball. We want to keep this thing going.